Hello, welcome to Matters Horizon. Hello, guys.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, certainly it's a dual package for most Nigerians, and one would expect that at a loss of life, everybody should kind of be sympathetic with the family, also in some form pray that the soul of the departed rest in peace. But you find that some Nigerians are all over the internet writing, so many things which are not far from what they felt from Buhari's leadership and all that. You can't remove that away. I don't know how it has become very difficult for our leaders to appeal to larger spectrum of the country they led through democracy, because leading any country through democracy should mean that you are a popular candidate. It means that the greater number of people wanted you, to be their leader. That is why for you to be a president, you should win majority of the vote and at least score 25% in minimum of 2/3 of all our states, which used to have an exclusivity for FCT. It's like these days now, FCT is like a state. So I don't know where we're having this strong animosity for someone that won the first tenure and also won the second tenure. All over the internet, people are writing so many things like, oh, he should have died earlier, things like that. Why are we seeing things like that?
That's also to show to us that leadership, a lot is placed on you in leadership, and the people rejoice when you rule well. Yeah. The Bible talks about it. Say the righteous, when the righteous rule, the people are happy. Yeah. And that's also to show the character of the person that is ruling. We've seen leaders all around the world when they pass on, they are eulogized in a very, very sweet manner. Yeah. People remember them for something. And the first one we saw in Nigeria that people were not happy was Abacha, because he ruled the people with strong hand to an extent, and he wanted to also translate himself from military to civilian rule. It was a time that people were gagged, the media was gagged, and we felt that an election that was conducted, and we saw a man that won the election under a democratic rule was not given the right to rule. Yeah. Now, in coming to this, there was a lot of expectation in President Buhari coming to power. We felt that one of the biggest problems we have is corruption, and that he was going to tackle corruption head on. Now, let's go back a bit to 1993. 1993 when he first took over. There were measures 1983, sorry. There were measures that himself and late General Yakubu brought to bear. One of them was war against indiscipline, and corruption. We could call it why that time. We thought that when he was coming back, a lot of us didn't really know that the person behind the wheel of that government was Idiagbo, that was making sure that people were doing what was right. So when he was coming, he contested in 2003, contested in 2007, then in 2011, and we felt that, this man, no nonsense to corruption, we welcome him, across board, from the north, east, west, south, everybody was saying, say Baba, say Baba. I would tell you the truth. I was one that said that, let him come. And one of the things I also said, because I'm a Democrat, one of the things I said that if he comes and we are not good with him, we vote him out. But sadly, we couldn't vote him out because he has entrenched his feet on the ground. Now, as a result of that, he failed Nigerians woefully. And some of the reasons he failed Nigerians, I think, was because of his health reasons. As a president, you can't sit there in Aso Rock and be looking at people doing whatever they're doing.
Himself, when he was sworn in 2015, that age will limit his performance, and he said it himself, that age will limit his performance. So, Philip, looking at somebody, Buhari, born in December 17th, 1942, just about 82 years.
Going to 83.
Going to 83, he has, unlike some crisis we face today, he has a known date of birth, so he has a known date of birth. A lot of things happen in this era that also took us aground. Let me just check a few things. At 19, Buhari joined the Nigerian Military Training College in Kaduna. Okay, he later attended the Mons Officer Cadet in Aldershot, England, between 1962 and 1963. Okay, these are our training. 1965, he took a mechanical transport officer's course at the Army Mechanical Transport School, Borden, in England. He also was in War College in America, Washington, D.C., between 1979 and 1980. A lot of studies and all that, you know. And one thing that was very the one thing that epitomizes his presidency was lack of certificate. As a matter of fact, from his time, Nigeria started saying somebody, you not get certificate, you get certificate, things like that. Issue of WAEC result. Certainly somebody who is already a major general in army has a training that is exceed that of master's degrees holder, that I can tell you. But he didn't just say, oh, I don't have this. I probably have a training that is equivalent or more. Rather, he said his certificate was with the military that time. And instead of go back to the military request for it, he was hiring how many sons? Over 20 sons at some point to defend, just to show your WAEC certificate. Do you think that issues like that, apart from the corruption he promised to fight and never fought, the refineries he promised to build and never built, and apart from some of those failures, and the popular statement from Oshomole, which he has always said that is being misquoted, also happened in his era, that once you join APC, your corruption is forgiven. Apart from all those failures, that of simply presenting your certificate, you go and take sons, pay them with public fund and all that. Do you think those are the things that engineered people to have this permanent animosity with Buhari? Even in death, a lot of people are writing all the rubbish you can say.
You see, you've answered the question yourself. You know, when he was speaking about Buhari, went back really to 1983. When Buhari and Idiagbon, who sued as military head of state and deputy. It was sweet. We were young, most Nigerians do not know. But those adults then warned Nigeria in 2015 or 2014, go to 250, say, you people do not know who Buhari is. Don't vote for him. Now, coming to the why Nigeria, the animosity, towards him. I read somewhere, somebody said he was equalizing late Yar'Adua, that if he had the opportunity to become president, he would declare 5th of March, the day Yar'Adua passed on, as a mourning day, as opposed to what is being thrown in the internet concerning Buhari.
Yeah.
In fact, if you put Buhari side by side, Nigeria will regret why they will rejoice when Abacha died. Yeah. Because Abacha was in the part of making Nigeria better for us.
Exactly.
But in terms of Buhari, like in the issue of certificate you mentioned, in their days, government class 4 was as good as a certificate.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong for an honest man
to say yes,
a trustworthy man, a man of character, a man of integrity to say that, look,
I don't have this.
In my days, certificates were not in
exactly
issue. What I used to enter the army was government class 4.
And a recommendation
from my people. Rather than doing that, he hired sand with Nigerian money. He said he campaigned, or rather he believed that Buhari should be given a chance. Because before 2014, 2015, Nigerians believed that Buhari was the Messiah. So if you hadn't given him the opportunity, Nigeria would have said they have missed the Messiah. That is why he himself said, let's vote for this man. But if he fails, we are in democratic era, it's not the military era that he was using white to terrorize everybody. We'll vote him out. But when he came into office as a civilian, he showed his true tyrannic nature to Nigerians. So you can see why the Nigerian populace are celebrating that. In fact, some majority of them you speak to both physical or digital, said he would have died while in office.
Yeah.
That would have served him as a punishment. That dying after, after he has served his tenure, that he has succeeded in, causing harm and the damage to Nigeria already. So his death means nothing to them. Instead of saying that, oh, this man lived where he died at old age, he attained everything that a man supposed to attain, he was a military head of state, he was a civilian president. No, they are saying that, no, he should have died long ago because there was no need for him to be alive because the pains he caused Nigerians the death it cost Nigerian is not commensurate to his death that he just died yesterday. So you can see that's why they said a good name is better than
silver and gold.
Silver and gold. So all the names, good name that Idiagbo helped him to have in 1993 to 1995, 1983 to 1985, they are nowhere because he destroyed it by his coming to office. So those who are older, who actually experienced what he did to them, because we are saying why? This is a man who collected people money and gave them 20 naira or something. No way they were exchanging money. You carry your money to the bank and just like what is happening to Nigeria today. You have people who were millionaires before Buhari became head of state, became poor by reason of his policy. So it's his nature, because this government is a extension of Buhari's government, because Tinubu said it will continue from where Buhari stopped, and it's the same APC government. So why don't you think the Nigerian people will not behave the way they are behaving? Because they are still in the pain. The pain has not gone away, and then they don't know where it will go, because the man that is in the saddle is continuing from where he stops.
Let's take this thing backward to 2015, where Jonathan left. Something very fundamental in a democracy is election. Jonathan left a very, as it were, though even when the law was not even as good as the electoral act we have today, but the people and the system and the temperament and you we'll call it body language. The body language of the president or the INEC chairman was better than what we have today. During Jonathan's era, going to snatch ballot post was running out of faction. It wasn't really good. Votes were beginning to count. Then Buhari, the Messiah, came. Everything changed. Even the inflation we see today, it was still up there, maybe a little bit better then. Everything changed. The corruption that he saw. He campaigned on two things, and those two things he failed woefully. One was insecurity. Before Jonathan left, it was just all Boko Haram, just secluded to northeast, not just Borno State, essentially. During Buhari era, Fulani herdsmen, became so militant and spread across the nation, and the Boko Haram itself didn't reduce. And we saw body languages where people like Gumi was boldly going to meet with these terrorists, and with their AK-47, they'll be talking and all that. And nobody ever till today called Gumi to kind of lead the way. But we saw the degeneration of security of the system. We also saw corruption being institutionalized in some form, to the extent that people believed what Oshomole said, that once you move into APC, your sins are forgiven. Even though today he tells us he was quoted out of context. They are always quoted out of context. But from what is happening, we can't truly believe that it is what is being quoted out of context. That happened. Example for people like the Timi Presivia was having a lot of cases with the FCC that time. Nothing came up. The Senate president we have today, that was the time he